The hardest part of growing older is getting to outlive that which you love. The hardest days are the ones from which you stand on the other side of someone else's end of the line. And in the quiet where something used to be, feel the years. But as heartbreaking as it will be to do that one day, today isn't about that. Today is the version of that truth that lives in the mirror side of grief. The kind of hurt you feel when you stretch into something new. The sores you get from breaking in a new saddle. These and all the other growing pains. This video is not a sad story. This video is about my favorite content creator and the man who most definitively did Destiny. As much as this will be a look back to the past, the correct place to start is close to the present. In fact, at the time of writing this at least, the present was a little under an hour ago when this post went up, saying that the YouTube channel Datto would fall silent in 17 days. On August 18th, 2026, Datto would no longer be doing Destiny. But why did this happen? And what is Destiny? Why is it so important that Datto does it? That last question is, I think, the most important of the bunch, so while I'd like you to keep it in mind, we're actually going to set it aside for a while. Instead, let's talk about the magnificent ship that sank oh so slowly, Destiny and Destiny 2. Destiny was, very simply, a video game. But a video game for which there really is no parallel out there. If you've heard of it and not played it, that probably doesn't make any sense to you. This thing has been the internet's punching bag for what feels like half a decade. And if you have played it, well, you felt the magic. And yes, genuinely, I mean that. No game plays like Destiny, even though so many others, some of them genuinely amazing games, try so incredibly hard, but they just don't reach the heights this thing did. I promise you, Destiny's blend of pitch-perfect atmosphere, genre-ascendant shooter action, truly monolithic sci-fi, and fantastically mythical lore, deep enough to lose yourself in for ever if you wanted. Seriously, go ask Bife. He'll let you in on gaming's best-kept secret if you're into that kind of thing. Between RPG mechanics, MMO play structure, and awful PvP that's still fun so long as you suck at it and everyone in your lobby does too, thousands of hours of content across something like 10 or more locations, half a dozen campaigns with star-studded casts, secrets, challenges, racing modes, dungeons, overworld exploration, unforgettable characters, and some of the best music gaming has to offer. Build crafting, strikes, seasonal activities, and most importantly, the raids. These are genuinely unmatched experiences in gaming. If you ever pick up this game, let it be to do this. The experience is so singular, and no other game has come close to the unique blend of what it feels like to do this. And after a little more than a decade, the whole thing died. You can still play it, of course, but you will feel when the track runs out. In fact, you will feel where the road cuts out almost immediately, and then after just a little bit of story, it gets ripped out from under you all over again. As magnificent as Destiny and Destiny 2 are, the games always felt like they were in a state of constant decline. Being a Destiny player was hard. If you paid attention, you felt the ground beneath you rock and buck as every moment of peak Destiny was hit so hard by Scandal, every height weeks away from the cavernous drop. In all the game's years, you never truly felt like things were looking up for more than a year at a time, and even then, I can only think of twice even that happened. The blissful year after Taken King, when we were too wet behind the ears to see the signs that this was a plateau, not a slope, and the second year of Destiny 2, when Forsaken came out and we finally thought Bungie had learned their lesson. This game was so easy to love, and so hard to be a fan of. You would stand there trying to hold on to this thing you love, made by people you would walk through fire for while they would happily chew glass for you. And the two of you would be worked over by mismanagement, scandal, well-meaning missteps that seemed to rip the ground right out from under you, and core flaws in the game that made you unable to recommend it. And so, after more than a decade of taking on water, the ship finally sank. And even then, we the players and this community's amazing content creators, every bit as charming and talented an artistic tour de force like Destiny deserved and 3 times as kind, held on tight until, that is, we get back to this post, where one of the original voices in this battered community finally told us it was time. But he is far from the only talented voice this community had, and honestly, I love every single one of them. Hi, this is Post-Production Hillary, just wanting to talk a little bit about footage. For the most part, you're going to be seeing, well, footage from Datto, obviously, a lot of people, and or just publicly available footage from Destiny trailers or whatnot. However, you're also going to see a lot of footage from this. Basically, most of the time you see footage from Fallout, it will be this video. I will look up the name of it right now, actually, that seems important. The video is called I Carried Lodi's Voice Actor Through Destiny 2. This is one of the coolest things the community ever did. It's Fallout and Bife, Fallout just being a generally great person, and Bife being the person who's really kind of in charge of the lore around here, at least on the YouTube side. They worked with one of the video game's voice actors to actually play through the game, and it was just an incredible experience. This is one of my favorite things the community ever did. You're going to see this footage a lot. Go watch this. I want to be clear about that just because I'm going to be using it pretty liberally. This is what that footage is, and it's just genuinely an amazing experience, whether you've played the game or not. One last time before we get to the man of the hour, I'd like it if you would indulge me. If for no other reason than because Datto and his channel are obviously important to me, but every single creator in this space, at least that I ever saw, are worth your time. I know that every step of the way, they were worth mine. See, this video really isn't about Destiny. In fact, that's something of my whole point when I managed to get to it, but Destiny is the reason I started this journey, and for anyone who is still skeptical of why Destiny was special in a way that even Bungie just won't be able to replicate, no matter how desperately they try, is that with Destiny's death, they have lost not only the talent that made it, but the community that made Destiny worth every player who engaged with it. These people carried this franchise. I know for a cold, hard fact that the people who stopped playing the game still watched the people who covered it with full hearts. It was these people that rolled out the red carpet, and the game just does not live as long as it did without their joy, their effort, and their creativity keeping the lights on. Let me tell you what it was like being a Destiny fan, not as a person playing the game, but as a part of this community. Because goddammit, I will miss that more than I will any raid or event. It is so hard to even describe how blessed we were. What it was like to wake up to some of the legitimate funniest meme videos I have ever seen on the internet in MP edits, or have Skeletor up in arms over news in the game, the way Tom Christie could make that happen. Or have SkillUp, a genuine gold star news source for the entirety of the video games industry. Congratulations on that award, by the way, it was well deserved. You are my second favorite content creator, and it is close. Just drop in and play along with the sillies and defend your game to the rest of the world. Look, as campy as it sounds, when you were part of this community, you really were part of a family. And the whole content creator sphere really felt like one. You had Fallout, who was just your chill best friend you could always hang out with, picking up lost time like none had passed at all, no matter how long you spent apart, with his just impossible vibes. You had Aztecross, who was the fun uncle who got you into trouble, yeah, but the kind of trouble you kinda need in life to have really lived. The kind that is seductive and sweet and more fun than you will ever have again. And, I mean, at the end of the day, he's still got your back, and does his best not to let it go too far. Bife was the older brother you had that got his degree and then just went on to be just so damn successful. The kind of person who shows up to Thanksgiving in a suit and still makes you smile, helping you out with your homework, treating you with patience, and that quiet, smiling confidence that you've got this. Mr. Fruit was the cool friend your dad made in college that was just as close as family, bringing you to the cool parties and showing you an awesome new niche. Jez was your dad's best friend, the kind that brings out the irresponsible side of him you never really got to see, that made him less than Superman, but infinitely more human, and all the while making you laugh harder than you ever knew you could whenever you were alone with him. Look, the list goes on basically forever. Cammy Cakes, Glad, Frostbolt, Mr. Raffle Waffles, and so many more. Every single one of them added something irreplaceable to this community, and you'll notice I didn't mention what sort of content they did because A, this video really isn't about Destiny, but mostly because I think it is so important that you know how it felt to be part of this. I describe it as a family because you didn't come to them so much as they were in this with you. More importantly than even that, you're all in it together. They did crossovers all the time. They chatted and responded to one another, debated, and went to bat as a united front, being invited to Bungie Studios armed with your questions and concerns. I remember times when the game director would come onto their channels and chat or play a silly game. I remember the group hugs we all had when things got bad. How whenever it really started to take a turn for the worse, I could just fire up YouTube or Twitch and do the equivalent of throwing our arms around each other, just feeling it all together. I happily watched the responses to the same news on a dozen different channels. If you can hold on to that feeling, if you can understand that, you can begin to understand why it was in an ocean of such wild talent. Datto is the one I intend to honor. Not because the rest don't deserve it. They all do. In a certain sense, this video is for all of them. But Datto's career in Destiny had an intersection with my life that was just singular in a way I'll never be able to forget. See, in this bizarre family tree, if you haven't done the math quite yet, Datto was the father. Datto was the first content creator I saw in this space, and the one whose journey taught me things I will hold on to probably forever. One thing worth thinking about, I think, is why. Why is Datto my favorite creator on YouTube? My interests are in game design, music, creative writing, fantasy, politics, engineering, and science in general. So how is it that with all of those things as my focus, Datto is the person in particular who rises to the top? To answer it all in a single question, what was it that Datto did? Well, Datto did Destiny. See, I picked up the game kind of on accident. I was in high school and determined to make a new friend. One guy in my Latin class in particular. I know I'm a nerd, okay? Don't at me. So I asked him what it was he was doing one weekend, and he told me he was going to try out the new beta for a game that was coming out, and I think you can guess which one. From there, my entire master plan to win his friendship was to buy it, which I did, play it, which I did, and then promptly, I never talked to that kid outside of class again. To be clear, he was a nice guy, just busy. And on the other side of that, I was kinda stuck with this game. This is where I meet Datto because, let me tell you, the Destiny 1 beta and launch were not so great a few hours in. I was pretty much just lost, so I looked for a guide on the internet, and guess who it was that I found? I don't remember which was the first video of his I watched specifically, but I do remember that it was quick, clear, clinical, and didn't waste my time while still being comprehensive. That was it. Not exactly riveting content, but still useful and more clear than the, other 4 maybe content creators Destiny even had at the time, so whenever I had a question, Datto is where I would go to answer it. A guide machine, really, not terribly more than that. If that doesn't sound like favorite content creator material to you, well, I don't blame you. At the time, he wasn't. I do think, though, that if that hadn't been the starting point, he wouldn't be my favorite content creator today. Not because this is what hooked me, or that's how I was introduced, but because if my regard hadn't started so casual, the journey that followed would not have been so profound. My relationship with Datto's channel is a full 12 or 13 years long at this point, and it would take a number of those, honestly probably close to half of them, before its place in my heart was finally settled. That doesn't mean those early years didn't lay the foundation as to why. Don't get me wrong, guides are a core part of his channel, even to the day Destiny died. But it didn't take very long before Datto did the most fundamentally Datto thing he does. Try something new. The first brush I had with this was about 8 months into the game's launch, when he started doing raid challenges. Many, in fact, from being blindfolded, to making it so he couldn't run, to remapping his controller. I think I remember him straight up doing it without a gun once. Funny, yes, but also the first of his forays into feats of strength type content that I saw. Something he was more than able to back up, with impressive placements in the world's first raid race. Generally speaking, the highest mark of mastery you could have in the game, as well as just myriad other accolades that he either made for himself or went out of his way to go collect. It's deeper into the years, but I remember watching him solo Axis and cheering out loud when he finally did it. This is what marked the first hop from someone I watched transactionally to someone I would seek out for entertainment. Datto's evolution, though, really didn't stop there. Over even just the early years, he would foray into making his own Destiny-themed game shows, reviews of weapons, updates on the game's news, and coverage from events, and Bungie-sponsored content. All these iterations and more led to what I think is the most fateful pivot into comedy. But before that, we had to go through the thing Destiny does best: make us feel pain. Destiny 2's launch and the years that followed, in retrospect, summon up feelings all too familiar with the ones I felt leading up to the game's plug finally being pulled, minus perhaps the exhaustion. See, this game made its community play the role of Sisyphus, with an imperfect game steadily growing better and more electric, but Destiny 2's Year 1 was our first real encounter with that boulder rolling back down the hill. People spiraled. The community basically lit itself on fire. Content creators did everything from switch games to hold on tight with a terrified smile, hoping the community would see something they didn't, just praying they were wrong about what they felt. In the genuine fear and chaos, though, we got to see Datto do one of the other most quintessentially Datto things he does. When the ship pitched and the storm rolled, it was him that walked up to the keel, laid hands on it, and quietly, thanklessly, held the course steady. I remember him apologizing in descriptions of his own videos around Curse of Osiris, explaining that, yes, it wasn't great, but holding on to his convictions and being crystal clear on the real shape of what was and wasn't working. So clear-eyed in the face of so much vitriol, something we would see time and time again. Datto was the true bellwether, laying down in simple terms what was wrong and how bad it was at every step of the community's outrage, reacting to each groan and creak we heard. He was candid, expressing true exhaustion and burnout when the water really was coming in. Datto did not overreact, no matter where the community sentiment or developer missteps took him. But what I think was truly amazing was how he could empathize and bridge build between the two, no matter what temperature the room was. Datto certainly got heated, and to developers and community both, but when he did, you always knew whoever he was mad at had crossed the line, even when you were the person he was upset with, to be honest. The amazing thing, though, is that he did all of this and walked the tightrope with grace, treating both sides with respect, even when they probably didn't deserve it in that moment. For the 13 years, he used his platform with care and moderated with honor. For 13 of some of the most turbulent years any game and community has ever had. For 13 years, to borrow a phrase, he walked on ice and never fell. For that alone, he has my respect. Unfortunately, I know that he wasn't always treated in kind, even by his own community. I guess to try and explain why, I would probably point to one thing in particular I really feel he deserves an apology for. For all that Datto was clearly skilled at Destiny, the highest accolade anyone could get in this game was to win a world's first raid belt. A title I know he definitely wanted, but his community seemingly needed him to have. For a man who, as a raw athlete in this game, held some incredibly impressive placements, We put pressure on him in a way that simply was not fair, sapping the joy from incredible performances, souring defeats that already probably didn't feel good, turning what should have been a laudable victory into a defeat. I know stories of other World's First winners getting attacked online because they won when Datto didn't. That just is not good for anybody, but especially it's unfair to him personally. Treating it with the best of possible intentions, like some of the best accolades you could get in this game, weren't enough, deprived him of pride I think he earned, and to this day are a stain on this game's story. And honestly, just my 2 cents here, but I don't think he ever really got the apology for that he certainly deserved. In a way, I think that's why I'm here. Anyone who's watched The Pit is probably already familiar with the idea of Ho'oponopono, assuming I'm saying that correctly. That meaning the 4 things you should say when you lose something. And if this channel is going to go dark, well, this video is my version of that. Saying out loud that I am thankful for this channel and the role it played. That I am sorry for the pressure and heat that Datto as a person had to deal with. To forgive him for absolutely anything he could possibly think he did not do well enough. And to say that I hope he forgives us for what and who we were in our darkest moments and how he had to deal with them. And yet, we are not done with this video, because even after I've said all of that, we aren't at the true heart of what it is that I personally love most about this channel. But we are finally caught up enough that I can truly tell you. So follow me to what has been promised to you for oh so long. Back to that fateful meeting I described earlier. The moment he truly became my favorite, and the video he did with TH3 Jazz. Strange as it sounds, fateful I think really is the right word here. For the people who have followed Datto for long enough, I'm pretty sure you probably agree with me. And I think for those same people, it will make even more sense when I say that this was finally the moment that Datto became my favorite content creator the internet over. See, hold in your head the vision of the person I've painted. Knowledgeable, moderate, careful, skilled, and worthy of respect. And imagine the moment you get to see that man relax, let loose, and all at once realize that he was funny as well. That's not to say that he hadn't had amusing videos before, even truly excellent ones, but here, without a script, without a concept behind him, without anything more than his wit and persona up to this point, he just rolled with the punches, played into the joke, wore the person he presented on camera as a comedic act, and it just worked so well. Dry, the straight man, but deft and clever in the vein of Leslie Nielsen. Genuinely a set of talents I hadn't seen from him before, and sweetened all the more by another thing we have never gotten a window into from him. At least, not in this way.
Few weeks later.
2 weeks ago, Jez came to visit, and someone else was there, and me and this other person, Danielle, really hit it off, and we have been chatting for the past couple of weeks now. So we are seeing each other. This is Danielle. She makes me really happy.
This was the moment. This special little realization. Because this was the moment I accepted Datto as a person, not a performer. The first time he let us see in. That's what transformed the relationship between him and his longtime viewers like me into a more parasocial one. Now, I think it's here that we have to be really careful. It's far from me to put words in anybody's mouth. But I think it's fair to say that Datto is, by all rights, a fairly private person. Datto has always been a professional, and that doesn't change just because we get to see more of his life from this point on. If you were a viewer of his channel, I think that was evident, but for people who weren't there, I don't want you to walk away with the sense that we ever got to be more than a fly on the wall. Even then, it was select moments that were honest, but narrow. Even as he became my favorite YouTuber, I know that was never lost on me. As much as I liked him, it was a marathon, not a sprint. I never subbed to his Twitch unless it was gifted to me. I tuned into a fraction of his streams and skipped videos when they didn't interest me. But getting to be a passive observer and watch him evolve, delighted. The reason, then, that this moment is so important is that this act of going from a holder of a platform to a genuine person with genuine interests did two things in specific. First is that it let Datto reach his full wingspan. Comedic content began to flow. Ad reads became the highlights of some of his videos. He joins in on friend slot games as a genuine part of the comedic dynamic. His scripts become more creative, and content becomes more varied, including showing us newer and more interesting things he just likes. His collection of shoes, his interest in the Pokemon TCG, or trying to reach new high scores in games he finds to satisfy his competitive edge. We even get to see him give his wife's interests in stunt work a genuine try. Once you have that bigger picture, the following years of his content just becomes something special in a way they can only be with more context about the man that makes it. We get to watch him shop for clothes, talk about his hobbies, start a secret channel, and just become more human. And that had an effect on me. Writing this now, I realize just how many years it's been since I've had the context to appreciate the changes he, as a performer, has undergone. For years, he stepped up to the bat as an entertainer, informer, host, athlete, reporter, interviewer, playtester, chef, card player, performer, hobbyist, drag icon, collector, stuntman, mocap artist, and just so goddamn much more. But it also contextualizes his role in the community in a way that parasocial content just doesn't often see. If a parasocial relationship was all I wanted, there's content for that. I'm far from an expert, but to my understanding, that's the whole draw of VTubers. Something Datto also is, by the way. And I mean, yeah, that seems neat. I don't really know anything about them. I've only ever followed one VTuber by the name of Limu, I think, or Limes, I don't remember. And I only found her because I've been working on learning Japanese for a few years, and without a speaking partner, I've just kind of been going through every resource I can find, and I guess that was just enough of an intersection for the algorithm to decide I needed to watch her content. But it was pretty chill and had cool vibes, and oh yeah, Datto was in a video with her too! Holy God, that broke my entire brain. For a channel that started life as Datto Does Destiny, this man has truly done it all. for me, for my journey, getting to see someone I respect and think of as a professional try so many things, to genuinely see his human side, even if I know it's miles away on the other side of a screen. I got to feel that there was a real human out there doing all of this, not just intelligently, but to really experience the efforts of a man writing a game that feels like it is trying to ensure its own death every few years. To so deep in, realize that the man behind the curtain really is just another one of us, recontextualizes everything that came before it. It makes me think how much research had to go into those guides way back in the day, how hard it must have been to think up these challenges, wondering if they are going to work out, how terrifying it must have been to be that mad at the people your job is to make happy, how scared I'd be if I knew I had this image as a serious person but wanted to just let loose and have fun. I've lost count years ago how many times it's been that Datto has evolved in front of me. How many pivots he's done, how many challenges he's faced, how many times he's had to pick himself off the mat. But ever since that video, where I got to smile to myself, happy that a creator I liked was having something nice happen to him out in the world, I did think to myself that, well, maybe I could evolve too. Maybe I could ride out the storm. Maybe as an aspiring creative, it would be okay to just run out there and try new things every once in a while. Follow my own interests and not be afraid of the turns in the road. Even more than that, just understand that the setbacks and mistakes I make do not define me, my work, and especially not my future. It was a genuine goal of mine in making this channel that maybe if I made enough content, maybe if I got enough subscribers or the channel got big enough, I could reach out to him and just any of the creators I liked. But top of the list was doing a raid with him. That'll never happen now, and I'm okay with that. Destiny is gone, and Datto's left it. But it's probably because I've watched this channel for so long that I'm okay with that. This video was never about Destiny. And this change, it's not so different from all the others. Datto is starting a new journey in a new game. A genuine interest that has caught his eye. And wherever that journey goes, well, I know I'll follow. Because the game that he played has long since stopped being the point. So here we are, I guess, in these bad days on the other side of Destiny's end of the line. And here, with a community so close, we stand together and feel the years. But this post wasn't about that. This is the thing that lives on the mirror side of grief. A path forward, outside the quiet where something used to be. And as hard as it will be to try something new, I don't have to have faith that he'll break in this saddle, just like he did all the other ones before. And behind him, he'll leave his first channel as a testament to how it's okay to change.